Welcome to Detroit's darkest times. First thing I want you to do is subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. We need to get them likes up. And I also want to say, hopefully this New Year's here will be a good New Year's for everyone. A better year than last year. And today's topic is the police encounters in Detroit City. First situation we're going to talk about is me and my crew hanging out on Otis and Military. We're just hanging out, shooting the breeze, drinking, and talking. All of a sudden, we see this beige, unmarked police car coming down Otis. And then he turns, he's going slow, he turns on Military, and we're right on the corner. But then we see this guy cutting through the field, and he almost runs, he's on foot, the guy is, and he almost runs right into the police car. Because as soon as he clears the building, then he sees the police car, and he takes off running. So the guy, the police officer must have been looking for him, but he takes off running. And so the police officer, he's like a quarter of the way down the block, and he sees the guy. So he puts it in reverse and guns it. And I mean, this car is really moving. The tires are smoking. And he's going backwards, so he's trying to get it turned around where he can actually pursue the guy. And he whips it around, and when he does, I guess he don't give himself enough room, and we're all on the corner, but this corner building has got like a porch right on the corner of Otis and Military. And we're all standing there watching this, and like I said, he goes in reverse fast as he can. He tries to spin the car around, the police car around, but he don't judge it right. And when he spins around, the side of his car, like the fender, like it swings, and there's a corner telephone pole right there. And he hits that telephone pole very hard. And his car started smoking. I think it broke the air radiator hose or something like that. It threw him in the back seat. He was a big old boy, but it was just him in the car. And it threw him in the back seat. So me and my friends are watching this, and it's me and Mike and Bobby. And so after the guy hits the pole, it slings him, his seat breaks. His like where he's sitting back on it breaks, and he's kind of in the back seat. And then Mike goes over there. Well, we all go over there to see if he's all right. And I think it dazed him for a minute, because at first he didn't move, and then he came to himself, and then Mike asked him, did he want us to help him, and then he was like I think he handed Mike something like a radio or something. He said, hold this until I can because he was trying to get up out of the car. And his car's smoking. It ain't on fire. It's just smoking from the radiator. And so, he shook up, because he hit real hard. And then he calls the ambulance and another police car, because his car was going to have to be towed. That's how hard he hit that pole trying to turn around. And then he calls an ambulance and another police car, and they take some of his stuff out of his trunk, like, shotguns, stuff like that. He puts in another police car, and they check him out in the ambulance, and they take him away in the ambulance, and then the other guys retrieved his stuff, and then they had his unmarked police car towed. But whoever that guy was that was running, that he was chasing, he must have been looking for him before we actually seen what was going on, But I'm sure that guy was really on the hunt for him after that incident, because he got hurt, but I don't know how bad he was hurt. And, but that car, it must have had a lot of power to it, because when he threw it in reverse and stomped the gas, the wheels were spinning, smoking. The wheels were smoking. That's how they were spinning. And he started coming back real fast. And then when he tried to whip it around, the car spent like it was going to spin around. But the only problem, he didn't time it right, and he hit the side of the police car with the telephone pole. Basically, probably, I don't know, he might have totaled the police car, because it didn't look good. It was real bad. But I'm sure he is definitely on the hunt for that guy after that. Another incident where me and my brother was working one day, and our truck broke down. And we was hauling brick, and our truck had broke down on Otis and Livernois. So this pickup truck, the doors wouldn't lock on it. So we had, a couple hammers, a crowbar, like a spud bar. And that's for, cleaning the bricks and stuff, because we used to clean the mortar off the bricks and then sell the bricks. But anyways, we decided we had to walk home because the car broke down, and we decided we was going to take our tools so nobody get in the truck and steal our work tools. So we're walking down Livernois, and we're going over to Dick's, and Dick's and Central. And so we're headed that way, and it's a side street over there, Carson. And we're headed that way, and we got all of our tools. He's carrying some, and I'm carrying some. And we decided we're going to cross over the railroad tracks, because it's a shortcut to go from Livernois to Burner Highway over to Dick's. If you cross over the tracks, it's a lot shorter of a walk. So as we're crossing over the tracks, the police stop us almost when we're across the tracks, and we're able to walk down over to Burner Avenue, but then the police stop us, and they're like, "What are y'all doing?" And we told them that our truck broke down, and we was just taking our tools so nobody would take them. And he said, "This don't look too good for y'all guys." And then we got to thinking about it, and we was like, "Oh, it doesn't look good." But finally, after he checked us out and ran our names and all that, then he seen that the tubes had, where they'd been used for brick and mortar and stuff like that, the dust on them. And so he seen that they was actually work tubes. They wouldn't, because he thought we was up there messing around with the trains, but that wasn't the case. We was just crossing over the railroad tracks. So we didn't even realize what we was doing. If we would have realized that, we would have walked the long way. We wouldn't have crossed the tracks. But we didn't think nothing about it. We was just trying to get a shortcut back over to the house so we can get another vehicle to go pick the truck up. anyways, he let us go, and after he talked to us and seen what we was doing. Then we had another encounter, and this was on Otis and Livernois. This is me and my friend Junior. We're in a yellow, I think it was like a 78 coupe Cadillac. It was yellow interior, yellow outside, but it was nice. It had spoke wheels on it. And a girl I used to date, she called it the big yellow banana. Because it was, yellow inside, yellow outside. And it was a coupe, it was a two-door, but it was nice. Anyways, we coming down Otis, me and him just out riding around, and he's driving, and the police get behind us, and then they turn their lights on. So he don't know if they're pulling us over or what. So he said, I'm gonna stop at this corner store. This is Jim Pollard's store on Otis and Livernois. He said, I'm gonna stop here and go in and get a pack of cigarettes just to see if they're pulling us over or are they just trying to go around us. And so then they parked right behind us. And I said, no, they pulling us over. And so anyways, he had his driver license and stuff like that. And the car was legal and registered and stuff like that. But they were looking at the VIN number through the windshield and all that. And so what it was, they thought the car was stolen because it looked like a new car, but it wasn't stolen. And so they were checking the VIN numbers and calling in the VIN numbers and stuff like that. And then finally, after they seen that the car wasn't stolen, they was just surprised because at this time, he's like 15 and I'm like 15. So, I guess they figured, two young cats riding in a nice Cadillac, even though it was yellow inside and out, but it was still fresh. And I guess when they seen just two young cats driving this Cadillac, they just assumed it was stolen, but it wasn't. So they ended up letting us go after a little while. They kept us there for a good minute, maybe an hour. And then after that, they let us go. And one time on Military, I'm walking. I left my house. I was living on Plummer and Livernois. And I left my house and I'm walking down Plummer to Military. And I'm actually just going to a friend of mine's house and I'm on foot. And I cut the corner and I'm on Military and it's by a closed viaduct. There's a viaduct there. It's fenced off where people cut a hole in it where they can cut through. It's a shorter cut to get over to like Toledo. But anyways, I cut it around the corner going to my friend's house, and I run into another friend of mine, Bert, and it's summertime. He's got shorts, a tank top, and I'm wearing like pants and a t-shirt with cut off sleeves. And anyways, he hollers at me, and then I'm like, "What's up, man? What are you doing?" And he was saying he was headed somewhere. Well, me and him was just chatting and stuff, so I stopped, lit a cigarette, and was talking to him. And next thing we know, Detroit's finest, they pull up. But he sees them, I don't see him. And he sees them, and he starts walking away from me. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Hey, man, I'm going to have to go." So I looked behind me, and the police were like, they stopped in the road. And then one of them got out. The passenger got out. It was two police officers in the police car. And the passenger got out, the police officer, and he's like, "Hey, Bert, come here. I want to talk to you." So they knew him by name. And he keeps walking backwards. He's not letting that police officer get near him. But he says, "What do you want to talk to me about?" He said, "Come here, I want to talk to you." So he pulls his shirt up. He has a tank top on. He pulls his shirt up, and he's only got like gym shorts on. So he pulls his shirt up, and then he spins around real quick, and he says, "I ain't got nothing on me." And then as he's walking backwards, and the police officer's not trying to, charge him or anything. He's just standing out the police car wanting to talk to him. So he's steadily walking backwards, and then he turns around and jets, takes off running. So then he gets in the car and they try to go after him, but I don't think they caught him because he was on foot. And there's a lot of different places you can go on foot. It's right there in that area. And I don't know what they wanted to talk to him about, but he just didn't have time to talk to them. So he took off. But anyways, then after I told him, "Am I free to go?" And he's like, "Yeah, you're free to go." So I just continued walking, going to my friend's house. And another incident was one time me and a friend of mine, or two friends of mine, and one of them was driving. And at this time, we got a garage and we're selling we're just having garage sales on the weekends, and just selling all kind of stuff, And we'd tell a lot of people, if y'all got anything to sell in your apartment or your house, whatever, bring it over here and tell us how much you want for it, and then we're just going to add a little bit to it, and we'll sell it for you, And it was just another hustle that we had, that where we can make some money and stuff like that. But anyways, we had a bunch of clothes and stuff like that. So we was going through these clothes trying to get them situated on a table, and we came across a couple of suits, and it was the complete suits with the ties and everything. So me and him, we're not the size of the suit, but we decided we're going to dress up, and we had the shoes and all that. So we dressed up in these suits and these dress shoes, and they was like, I don't know, maybe 3 sizes too big or something like that. But anyways, we was just doing it just be cutting up. We got dressed, put them shoes on, the suits. We had hats, put hats on. Then we decided we was going to go through the neighborhood and just walk through the neighborhood and just, trying to make people laugh the way we was dressed. And they were nice suits and everything. It was just the thing was, it wasn't our size. So it kind of looked like some short people wearing some overgrown suits and stuff. So everybody was laughing at us and wondering why we was dressed like that. But that's what we did. We just wanted to get some laughs out of people. And we'd walk through the neighborhood. Well, anyways, we was walking back to the garage, and the other friend of mine pulled up, and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to Norby's Pizza." He said, "Y'all want to ride?" And then he was like, "Why y'all dressed like that?" And we said, "We just trying to make people laugh and stuff like that." And he said, "Y'all want to ride with me to Norby's Pizza?" And we was like, "Yeah." So we jumped in, and my friend got in the front seat, and I got in the back seat, and the windows down. It's summer. Well, we're cruising down Military, headed toward Michigan Avenue. And on Michigan Avenue and Military, there's a Norby's Pizza right on the corner. And so as we're going down there, my friend spots 2 hookers, and they're walking about, I think it's like a block away from Norby's Pizza. And then my brother's just driving slow. I mean, not my brother, a friend of mine. He's driving slow, and my friend is yelling out the window, trying to talk to the hookers and stuff like that, just messing around. and they're talking back to him and stuff like that. Well, anyways, next thing we know, some blue lights is behind us. So my friend pulls over, and I'm sorry about saying that's my brother driving. The reason I said that, I just got a phone call earlier about my brother. That's the reason I mentioned his name. But anyways, uh, the what it was undercover Detroit police, and they turned the blue lights on, pulled us over. So my friend pulled over, and he was like, "Man, y'all should have been talking to them." And we was like, "They can't do nothing for us just saying stuff out the window." And so the guy comes up to the driver window and asks my friend for his license and registration, stuff like that. He gives it to him. And I think he wrote him a citation or a ticket. I'm not sure which one it was, but he wrote him out something. And what it was for is he told him that he said, this is a sting. We got these ladies. These ladies are police officers and they're dressed up as hookers. And we're just trying to, catch the guys that are trying to hire the hookers. And then, but they seen that, we was just cutting up and, wasn't no, wasn't no harm in it. But anyways, they gave him a ticket and said, you're going to have to keep your passengers inside your vehicle when you're going down the street. And so anyways, they let us go. And we went up there. And dude was mad about it. But, he's the one that said, hey, do y'all want to ride to Norby's Pizza? And he knew how he was, so he just didn't know that we was going to get pulled over. Neither did we. But that happened. And it was kind of funny because even undercover cop, he was like, why y'all dressed like that? And then we had to explain to him the same thing we explained to my friend when he picked us up. And he started laughing. He thought it was funny, He said, but y'all can't be hanging out the car and stuff like that. Y'all got to keep your body parts inside the car. Then anyways, he let us go. And then we went up to Norby's Pizza. And at Norby's Pizza, there was always a Detroit police officer behind it. There's a little alley behind the Norby's Pizza. I think he was a captain, I believe he was a captain. But I don't know what he hung out there all the time. I think he might have been just moonlighting for the guy that owned the pizzeria, or they might have been friends. I really don't know the situation, but dude was always there all the time. Just he had a bar stool behind Norby's Pizza by the back door, and he would just be hanging out there, or he'd be sitting in his control car. But he was a friendly dude. He always would holler at you or something like that if he was coming up there or whatever. So he was cool. He wasn't a bad dude. But that was a funny incident because not only was we joking around with the ladies, we was also dressed up in suits and stuff like that. It just looked funny, But Norby's Pizza, they had some good pizza, though, I have to say that. And they'd stay open like late night. I remember when I used to work at the Coles Tires underneath the Ambassador Bridge, the Canada Bridge. And they had a tire company underneath the bridge there on 4th Street. And we used to work there. And what we did there, they would get old tires together and they would sell them for recycling to make new tires. And when I worked there, I was the youngest dude that was working there and the smallest dude that was working there at the time. And me and this other cat, because they would be like two people in a group in each truck, and then you'd go off, and these trucks had like arm racks, on the beds of them where you can haul a lot of junk tires. So me and the dude that I rode with, we used to go to Windsor, Canada every day, and we'd go over there. And I remember when I had the first day I was working for him, he'd tell me, he'd say, "Look, I'm gonna tell you what you got to do. I'm gonna go to these gas stations and these tire shops, and I'm gonna tell you what to say, and you go in and here's what you got to do. You got to go in, ask for the manager, and if the manager's not there, you got to ask who's in charge, and then you got to ask them, can we have your junk tires?" And a lot of gas stations had like a concrete wall, like a cinder block wall, and it was like over by the bathrooms, and that's where they would throw their junk tires at the time. Well, a lot of them would say, "Yeah, you can take many as you want." And then some of them, because I was a young cat at this time, some of them would say, "No, we ain't got no tires." And you'd have to just go get in the truck, because the driver, he would just stay in the truck. He would just tell me to go ask for the tires. But anyways, we used to go all day, all around Windsor to get junk tires. And sometimes they'd have water in them, so he taught me how you could flip a tire to get the water out of the tire. Then he also taught me how to lace tires, and what that is when you're stacking them on a truck, you can get a ton of tires on a truck if you know how to lace them up. And so we did that, and it was kind of a messy job though, because you get real dirty and wet a lot of times. But anyways, back to the Norby's Pizza place. We'd work late nights, and when you come home, that would be the only spot that would be open close to where we is at, where you could go down there and order a pizza and stuff. Because I think they stayed open till like 2 in the morning. So that was pretty good, and they had good pizza there too. But it was interesting working at that tire shop because I was able to go to Canada every day, and so that was pretty good. And it just wasn't an ideal job, but it was some way to make some money. So, and then Fort and Green Police Station. If anybody's familiar with Detroit City, they know about Fort and Green Police Station. I remember one time there was a dude in there, and another guy was getting out, and in the cells you could see out the windows. They had bars on them, and in summer the windows would be open. And this dude was getting out, and it was a rival. It was two gang members. It was the Latin Counts and the Cobras. Anyways, these two guys had beef with each other because they belonged to different sets. And anyways, the one guy got out, which was a Cobra, and he was walking in the parking lot. And then this other cat that's a Latin King, he's in the cell and he's yelling out the bars. He's like, "People love, Count love, Cobra killer." Then the dude in the jail, he was telling him, "You're gonna have to calm down. You can't be yelling out the window like that." And I thought that was funny because I didn't know. see what dude was gonna get out of it. I guess just let him know he was there or something, you know. I don't know what the situation was, but he was just letting him know he was there and he seen him and stuff like that. So, and Fort Greene, that place was something right there. It's had lot of a lot of people go there in and out of that place. Then who's familiar with the Big Four? And this would have to be just Detroit people only, but who's familiar with the Big Four? The Big Four, and I'm going to educate you people that don't know about it. The Big Four is a four-door Caprice black police car, and it's got gold writing on the side. It says Detroit Police. And most of the time, there's four dudes, four officers in this car. And they're not in uniform. They're just wearing street clothes. Like boots, jeans, just regular clothes. But these cats here, these are guys that, people didn't really want to give them a hard time because them were not the guys to play with. They were very serious about what they did. And they was big on hands-on, if you know what I'm talking about. Not saying the other Detroit police wasn't. I'm just saying these guys were well known, and nobody wanted no static with them, because it was just another kind of police group, if you will. But a lot of people see them, they would stand down. Like, no matter what they were doing, they would stand down. Because they knew that them guys, if they got a hold of you, it wasn't going to be just handcuffs and go to jail. It's going to be a little more to it. But anyways, shout out to the Big Four. And all my brothers and sisters in Detroit, they know what I'm talking about. And but I hope everybody has a good year this year. And I want y'all to subscribe, hit the like, and the notification bell. And I hope y'all enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed giving it to you. So y'all have a good one, and be looking out for the next video. Peace.